before we kick off with the measures that are in place, what are the exact details of what transpired on Friday?
Yes. There was one patient that, one traveler that came from Tanzania. He's a Namibian. He came back from Tanzania via Johannesburg, and in flight, the cabin crew noticed that he had a rash on him, especially on the neck and the wrist.
Yeah.
And then they put him one side, and you know, because of their emergency documents that they have, we commend Air Namibia for doing this and for being able to do it in the future, because these are one of the ways that we can stop any spread. So that person was then put at the back, and then they quarantined the plane and called in the ministry. Then myself and a colleague of mine, we went there. There was 111 plus the crew, which made it about 120. We had to work our way through all of them, not just the one. We concentrated on the one, and you know, this is geographical distribution of disease. When you have signs and symptoms, and especially with Ebola, you have to have had contact. There's no other way. It's not like H1N1 that you cough and sneeze and then you will get the thing. But with this disease, you have to be in close contact with the body fluids of that person. Now, if you haven't done that, then you can rule Ebola out just like that. It's as logical as that. You understand?
Okay.
So that's why the spread of this disease is important. And we really took him to task. We asked him all the epidemiological questions that there are and made a quick examination of the person. And then, having ruled out, there was no fever, there was no myalgia, there was no malaise, there was no sore throat, there was no headaches.
It was
had
simply
no
the rash.
symptoms. And
Yeah.
3 days before that time, he had eaten fish, and he is allergic to fish. But he was not aware that there was fish that he was eating. I think it must have been a soup like this. He developed a typical allergic rash with no fever whatsoever. So based on that, based on the clinical, based on the whole history, the geographical, that he was not involved with any person that was sick, he was not in close contact with anybody. We ruled it out. But then we had to go and start with the others. We couldn't just leave him. So we had to work ourselves through the 111 people, each one asking them, where do you come from? It's important. This is the question you ask. Where do you come from? If you come from Central Africa, all right, come. How do you feel? Are you feeling sick? What? Then we'll take your temperature. And once you have a fever, coming from that area and you've been in close contact with people, you will be isolated.
Of course,
so
for further investigation.
After having gone through all that 100 level, we said, no, there's no Ebola on this plane. There's no illness on that plane whatsoever.